I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
Well, for those who don't know my story, I was abused at the age of 5 years old. My mother gave me over to her drug dealer to settle her debt. My innocence was taken from me forcefully. And through that, it sent me through a spiral effect of, anger and resentment and feeling inadequate and honestly just feeling like I don't even want to be here. And eventually ending up into foster care and going from home to home, not having nobody to want me because I had so many walls built up and I had so much hurt going on and I didn't want to allow people to hurt me again. So I did what I knew best. I protected myself and I didn't allow nobody in. And eventually I ended up as what they would call, a statistic. I ended up pregnant at the age of 16 years old. I spent the night up under the Claiborne Bridge with my son. Once I had him at 17, I was homeless. And I just realized, I don't want to keep going through hell for the rest of my life. Like there has to be something better in life than just being poor and struggling every single month and not having no money in the bank account and not being able to provide a roof over your child head. And what I realized was that I had to go and forgive the person that hurted me the most so I can start moving forward with my life. So it wasn't until I looked my mother in the face and I said, I forgive you. I forgive you for all the hell you imposed on me. You tried to break me, but I'm not broken. You did everything you could to tear me down, but I'm still here. And that was a freeing moment for me. That was a moment where I took back control of my life. That was the moment I said, I'm Terrica Lynn Smith. I'm somebody. I may not be nobody to nobody else, but to Terrica Lynn Smith, I have to be somebody because this little boy didn't ask to be here. I have to be the one to take care of him, or he's going to end up in foster care like I was, and he's going to be on runaway like I was, and he's going to be going through all this type of hell, and the cycle would never end. So I had to make a decision to say, look, because somebody did harm to me, because somebody else had ugly in them, I shouldn't allow that to continue to live through me because now I'm passing all that ugly on to my own children. And so that was a moment for me to say, I'm done. I am done being the victim. I don't want to be the victim no more. Yes, my mother hurt me to my soul. That's one of that right there is one of the hardest moments I had to get through my life, to tell somebody who I did nothing wrong to, that I forgive her. That was hard as hell. Like that ain't no easy feat. Like people think forgiveness is easy, but try being 5 years old and having to forgive the person who gave away your innocence. And for me, that was a moment to say, okay, all right, bet. I got to do this for Tariq. I can't do this for Terrica Lynn Smith no more because Tariq Quintarius Smith is going to end up just like Terrica Lynn Smith, homeless, nobody to call, nowhere to go, and so we have to become victors in our life, no matter what the hell is we've been through, no matter how hard it is, no matter how bad it hurt. Like if we want true freedom, if we want the abundance that is promised to us, then we have to forgive the ones who caused the hurt and the pain upon us. So again, that's kind of like the nutshell of it.
And it's like that's something so deep though, because I think it's more than just that. I see that just speaking to our whole community, and some people might not have experienced it as deep as you, but they still might have had abusive parents and parents who they feel like didn't do the best that they could have done in our community. And I think that's the reason that a lot of us, we're not able to move forward and really able to prosper as we should, because we're holding on to some of that hurt and that anguish and that hate and just feeling like, I'm not good enough because the person that brought this life to me, they didn't even see the value in me. And I think that's so powerful that you were able to overcome that. And I just want to ask, like, how was that mentally for you overcoming that though? Like, what did you really have to do to process that? did you have to go to like some type of counseling? Like, was it like just a self-realization?
Look, I didn't have counseling, to be honest. Like, I ain't have counseling. I just had myself and I had my situation. And my situation, honestly, was big enough to say, I got to do something different. Like, the reason why I'm homeless is because I pushed everybody away. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing because at the age of 5 years old, I had to become an adult. But look what it has gotten me, right? So people want to love me and people want to come into my life, but I got this 10-foot wall up, and they got caution on it. Everybody is suspect, right? I don't trust nobody. And that thinking is what kept me in bondage. And so for me, I had to say, yo, like, this is why I'm here, because I can remember thinking about the people who was trying to help me. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, be like, yo, nobody was, no, I ain't want nobody. I felt unlovable. I felt unworthy. And those feelings is what got me there. And I'm not at that age, and you have to think about it. When you are forced to become an adult at the age of 5 years old, you start telling yourself adult things at a very early age. You leave your child in the house for days at a time. My mom would be gone for days at a time. So I would have to cook. I would have to clean. Like, I had these common sense things that I had to do to be able to survive. There was a point in time where me and my sisters, we ate grass just to stay alive. We literally ate grass. I remember my sister laying on the sofa and she was crying because my mother been gone for days. She never came back. We ain't have no power. We ain't have no work. We have nothing in the house, pitch black. Imagine a little bitty tiny house. You know what I'm saying? And you got your 3 kids in there and we hungry as hell. And she said, y'all better not go outside. Y'all better not go outside. So you know what happened if you go outside. She catch you, the neighbors see you. Back in the day, they all talk. Guess what? Your butt is grass. They're going to bust your behind. But I knew even at that age, y'all, at that age, I said, look, if I don't go get something to eat, we're going to starve in here. We're going to starve. And I ran outside. Look, that sun hit me because I haven't seen daylight in so many days because we've been in a dark house. We didn't have no power. And so I'm running as fast as I could. My heart is beating uncontrollably out my chest. I'm like, oh God, please don't let this woman come back, please. And sure enough, I grabbed the first thing I seen, 2 handfuls of grass, and I ran back inside. And my heart is panting. And my baby sister is like, I am not eating that. And I said, if you don't eat it, you're going to die. So I knew under that bridge, I already had common sense because that child at that age had to have common sense. That child at that age had to be an adult because there was no adult there. So being under that bridge, I knew that the anger I had towards my mother, the feelings I had of wanting her dead, and I wish somebody would just kill her, like all of this anger and rage is what ended me here. So I'm thinking of all the people that was trying to help me along the way, but because I couldn't trust them, because I've been hurt, I pushed everybody away. So I said, if I can't forgive, then I'll never be able to let nobody get close to me. So that moment right there, like being homeless with my son, I'm crying because now I have tears of failure. Every single tear that fell down my face represented something personal to me, inadequacies, abandonment issues. Every single tear I had fall down my cheek hit me. It hit me internally. And I knew that I had to say, yo, this is it. Like this is the worst you can possibly be in your life. And when people say, who was your mentor? I said homelessness. Homelessness was my mentor. Because when I looked around under that Claiborne Bridge, nobody looked like me. At that age, I knew I was better than who I was at that current position. And although my reality showed me that I was homeless, like that's the reality, right? Like you homeless, girl, you and your baby here, these men could take advantage of you. You're a young teenage mom, right? But I could not believe the reality in my head. It was just what my eyes seen. So inside my head, I'm already making the decisions to take me from the place that I'm at right now. Because if I get caught up in where I'm at, I'll still be up under that bridge. If I was to stay a victim, I'll still be up under that bridge. It's everybody else's fault I got hurt. Nobody in my family wanted me, so I ended up in foster care. If I kept that mindset, the victim mindset, I would still be up under that bridge, blaming everybody else. Sometimes, and this is hard, but sometimes we have to recognize that we can become a victor just by forgiveness.
That's powerful.
Because you said it multiple times in that taking your mindset from that being the victim to the victor. And I think that's very important for a lot of our people to really look at with your own life. Like, even I'm thinking myself, like looking in your own situation, where are you playing the victim and where are you allowing yourself to be the victor? So when you under that bridge and you finally got this vision, what was like your first steps away from that?
So look, this is when you become a victor, right? I had no money. I just had a food stamp card that I knew I was going to get food stamps on. So I'm literally making phone calls from a payphone, okay? Calling ads in the newspaper saying, can you allow me to move in? I don't have no money right now, but this is what I can give you. That's illegal. That's illegal to offer your food stamp card, right? But desperate times calls for desperate situations. Yep. And so for me, I had one guy that answered, and I wrote this in my book, My Life Story, right? And he answered the phone and he said, I'm not going to take your food stamps. He said, but I can't see you and your child homeless anymore. Like, I can't see y'all homeless. He said, I have a unit. It may not be the best, but I'll let you stay in there. And when you start working and when you start getting on your feet, then I'll allow you to start paying me rent. Don't give me no food stamps. That was my first hand up in life, I feel, that I accepted. I wasn't too proud. I took it. And when I got into that apartment, I became grateful of all the small things that I wasn't really paying attention to. Like, throughout all the hell and adversity that I was going through, I remember those small little blessings along the way that reminded me that something more powerful than me was still in control of my current situation when I look around. And so, coming into that apartment and, finally having a roof over my head, I still had to struggle. It didn't all of a sudden get easy. All right. Like, the light bill, everything.
Right.
Yeah, the light bill people don't care that they don't care about nothing, right? They want them tokens, okay? So I still had struggles, but in that apartment complex, it was a whole community of people in New Orleans that just looked out for you. I left my son with strangers to go work at the temp service, to sit out there for 3:00 in the freaking morning, hoping they would give me some work. But I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad. And being in foster care, they have organizations, once you age out, that still give some type of financial assistance. But you got to be there at the wee hours of the morning. And it ain't guaranteed. But by all means, I'm there.
You was there.
I'm there. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It was never a point where I was at the temp service and I didn't get no work. I always got work. I think it's because I showed up expecting. When I went to Catholic Charities that help the foster care youth, I went there expecting that they were going to give me some tokens. How else am I going to pay my light bill? I don't got no money. So they got to do something to help me. Now, that's just my thinking. That's not what was real. You know what I'm saying? But that was my thinking process. And I think that thinking process kept me going along the way.
I think that thinking process, though, speaks to your faith, like you said, because like you said, whenever there was these small things that would happen, those are the things that kept you knowing that, God is with me. Because, and I had wanted to ask you that, because sometimes people, they go through these things and they find themselves in these positions and they just lose faith in everything. And I'm glad that you touched on, this is what kept me going, because, even though it's as bad as we can see it, there's always a little glimmer of light. Like, I'm still watching out for you. This is just a test to see what you're going to really become.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes.
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.